Now available for the first time in paperback. Why 70% of black women are single. Learn all the reasons why so many black women can't find a husband and why 70% of black women are single. Get your copy of Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com today. A couple of years ago, a brother came to me and he asked me what he could do to deal with a domineering woman. And my advice to that brother all those years ago was to just bide his time, get a job, save his money, and then work towards getting his own place and leaving that woman behind. Now, many guys out here, they might get involved with a domineering woman thinking that things are going to change for the better, but they're not going to change for the better at all. Now, when it comes down to relationships, you have to follow a point that I made in my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. And that point is people are as is. And when it comes down to your domineering woman, she is as she is right now. And what you see right here is what you're going to get if you start a relationship with her. And what you're going to get is going to get a lot worse if you continue to remain involved with her. Now, a lot of guys will get involved with a domineering woman thinking that things will get better and that this woman will soften over time, but that's not the case at all. When it comes down to your domineering woman, she is the one who wants to be in charge. She is the one who wants to have the power, and she is the one who wants to be in control. And the reason why she wants to be in charge, in power, and in control is because this woman is extremely insecure, and those insecurities she has are only going to get worse over time if you continue to remain involved with her. Now, this woman's insecurities, they are the thing that plague her, and these are issues that are far beyond any man's ability to control. So when you're dealing with a domineering woman, know that all of her needs for power come from fear, and that need for power comes from a fear of not being able to get her needs met because she doesn't know how to get her needs met through direct communication. So this insecurity is going to grow inside of her because she just does not know how to talk to a partner, and she does not know how to talk to a partner in many cases because either she has not seen this modeled for her in a family relationship between her mother and her father, or she never had a father in her life to show her how a man leads in a relationship. So she has really not learned how to communicate effectively with a man. Moreover, she has not learned how to even treat a man with his proper respect. So when you're dealing with this domineering woman, she does not see a man as somebody she needs to respect or regard. No, she sees a man as a child, and because she sees a man as a child, she just looks down at that man, and that's not good for a relationship between a man and a woman. Now, a man, under God's natural order, is supposed to be the head of the household because he has a direct connection to God, and he is the steward who is supposed to be responsible over the home. And as the man, he is supposed to be a respected and regarded authority figure. Unfortunately, your domineering woman, she's so insecure, she does not have respect for a man, and she does not know how to communicate with a man, and that causes friction because this woman just does not know how to respect a man's authority. And because she does not know how to respect a man's authority, what she does is she does not know that there are boundaries for a relationship, and she oversteps her bounds and goes and steps on her man and steps into spaces she shouldn't socially step into. And with your domineering woman, she thinks she can barge into these social spaces, thinking that she's helping the man. Unfortunately, what she's doing is making her man appear to be weak. And if you have a man who is not very strong, what he'll do is let this woman step into his personal and social spaces and start letting her dictate things. And that's where your henpeck husband comes in, or your p-whip guy. What happens is he's not strong enough to assert a boundary on this woman to let her know she's out of line. And what she does is she pushes boundaries because she's scared that she won't get her needs met. And because she's afraid that she won't get her needs met, she thinks she has to go out here and assert things. But the whole thing is, she does not trust the man. And that's the big problem with relationships between a domineering woman and a man, is that one, she's insecure and does not trust the man to do what he needs to do. And two, she does not trust the man to be a leader in the relationship. So it's hard to have a relationship with a woman where she's always trying to second guess you, trying to question you, and trying to challenge your authority. And it becomes a major headache over time, because as this woman and her insecurities continue to fester, what happens is she's always questioning your decisions and doing things like going behind your back and doing things like second guessing you and trying to figure things out that you have already figured out. So instead of her trusting you, what she does is she tries to figure you out and tries to go ahead of you instead of trying to follow your lead. And that can be very frustrating for a man when he's trying to go out here and do things out here, because he's already set things up a certain way, but then she wants to go behind, either get in front of him and do it for him. And again, that really is not a good look for a man, because when you're a man out here, you're supposed to be the leader. And if your woman is out here doing things and getting ahead of you and then talking for you, that's not a good look for you as a man, because socially you're sending out a message to other men and women that you are weak, and you're sending out a message that you are not somebody they need to respect. Because a healthy woman, while she may notice that her husband or her boyfriend may be making a mistake here or there, she knows not to bust him out in front of his boys or in front of company, because that reflects badly not only on him but on her. But the domineering woman thinks nothing of it, because her insecurities and fears drive her to go out here and think that she's helping the man, but she's actually hurting the man by making him lose face in a social situation. And when she makes him lose face in a social situation, this can cost him promotions, this can cost him contacts, this can cost him business, and it can also cost him respect of other men and women. Because if a man's woman does not know her boundaries, then people cannot see him as somebody they can trust to be a leader. Because if his woman is not following his lead, then they're looking at him thinking he can't manage his home, then how can he manage anything else? So a lot of these domineering women think that they're helping their men by being bullies, but what they're doing is pushing their man out of social circles by violating unwritten social rules. And many of these guys out here, they're thinking, oh, I can get with this domineering woman. But when it comes down to the domineering woman, there's a reason why many men leave her alone. And the main one is because they cannot be the leader and head of household that God created him to be. They cannot be the steward over their home. They cannot have the responsibility and a direct connection to God, because you have a woman who doesn't want to be a helpmeet and support. She becomes a hindrance because she's always questioning everything you're doing, second guessing you, challenging your authority, and then wanting to go out here and undermine your authority. Moreover, this same woman does not understand the concept of respect, and because she does not understand the concept of respect, she does not want to cooperate as a partner. No, she wants to become your competition. And it's hard to have a relationship with a woman who is a competitor to you, because instead of your household where you're working together, this woman is actively working against you. And as she's working against you and undermining your authority, what she's doing is not learning how to grow to respect and value your leadership and authority as a man. What she's learning to do is eventually growing into more and more contempt, because she sees you as a rival, and what she wants to do is eliminate you as a rival. This is why many men who get involved with domineering women, what happens to them is they either wind up getting cheated on because this woman has no respect for you, and eventually that little value of liking you turns into contempt, and that contempt leads to her wanting to go out here and pursue another man who she will either, one, use as a tool to take a shot at you by cheating on you with, by saying that he's more of a man than you, or two, she's going to go out here and cheat on another guy who will actually assert authority on her. And in many cases, when it comes down to these domineering women and the contempt that they have for a man, it can grow so much that that woman eventually starts to hate that man so much that instead of her seeing him as a person who has life that matters, she starts to see him as a tool that she can use to get that has no longer any more use, and decides to eliminate that tool by having him murdered. So a lot of guys think they can get involved with a domineering woman and think that eventually she'll soften and become much nicer, but there is no niceties to these domineering women. When it comes down to these domineering women, they are obsessed with power and control, and that obsession with power and control is the thing that drives men away from these kind of women, because you cannot build with a woman who is just constantly tearing everything you build down, and oftentimes taking everything away that you're trying to go out here and add something to. Because a lot of these domineering women, they come from a place of major insecurity. Nothing you ever do will ever be good enough for them. They will always think that there's always something better. They will always think that there is someone better. They don't value you as a man. They don't value you as a person. They can't value you as a human being, because they don't really even see value in themselves, because they are so insecure and so scared of everything falling apart that the great irony is they tear everything down around them. So when you deal with a domineering woman, know that her quest for power and control leads to her always destroying everything that she gets involved with. And she is oftentimes more her own worst enemy than any other person out here. I mean, many of your domineering women, they'll have a good man, but their insecurities will have them making accusations of cheating on that man, especially when things start to get closer. And she will eventually drive that man out of her life, and she will just drive that man crazy, continuing to make accusation after accusation. You could be 5 minutes late on a bus, and she'll turn it into a story of cheating, or she'll just go out here and make all sorts of wild stories, again, all based on her fear of not getting her needs met. And you could go out here, give this woman your entire check, and she'll still sit there and say, oh, you're not doing enough for her. So this is a woman who is impossible to deal with. And when you're dealing with these domineering women, the only thing a healthy, sane man can do is show her the door, because this is a woman who cannot be led. This is a woman who cannot follow directions. This is a woman who cannot see herself as a partner. She has to be in charge. Unfortunately, when she is in charge, there is nothing but chaos, and everything is always somebody else's fault but hers. So there's no way you can work with a woman like this. She does not want to be a helpmeet or support. She wants to be the boss, but she doesn't have the courage to go out here and be the boss. So she bullies a weak beta male and tries to make him do what she wants and manipulate him into doing what she wants out of fear. And any healthy man, he wants to have a partner he shares his love with. He doesn't want to be in a relationship with a woman who he can't share anything with, because everything with this type of woman is based in fear. Everything with this woman is based in chaos. And you will have nothing but drama dealing with a domineering woman, because everything about her is insecurity. Everything is about her reeking of so much insecurity that her insecurities get the better of her, and she takes good situations and turns them into bad. She turns everybody into an enemy, and she turns away people, and she sucks the energy out of the room. So any sane man, he knows not to get involved with a domineering woman, because she's somebody who will crush the life and suck the life out of any healthy man out here, and prevent any healthy man from having a healthy relationship. Because if the relationship isn't going her way, it's not going any way at all. And it's just better for you to go your way and find a nice, healthy woman, because dealing with a domineering woman is a nightmare. And it's just better for a man to be on the housetop with by himself than in a house with a contentious woman. And there is no more contentious a woman than a domineering woman. And that's one of those things that makes men want to walk away from this type of female, because she's just so contentious, and there's nothing you can do to help her at all. So a lot of guys out here think that they can get with a domineering woman and that it'll be a good thing. But at the end of the day, you're just going to put yourself in a situation where you're going to have nothing but misery and pain, because her insecurities are going to sabotage this relationship. Because if she's not accusing you of cheating, she's accusing you of stealing, she's accusing you of lying, you just can't get a break. Or if you're out here, there's nothing you do right, or there's a situation where she just embarrasses you in front of your company and your associates, because she doesn't trust you to know these social cues out here. And because she thinks she knows better than you, she goes out here and embarrasses you both and makes you look bad. So dealing with a domineering woman, the best thing you can do cut this woman out of your life, because it's not going to get better as related to a relationship. It's only going to get worse. And the only thing you can do with a domineering woman is send her away, because there's nothing you can do with her and there's nothing you can do for her. Any man out here needs to understand that he needs to be the head of household, he needs to be the steward, and he needs to be in charge. And if he's not running the relationship is running him. And when you're dealing with a domineering woman, she will run you straight into the ground. And then after she runs you into the ground, she's going to go over to the next man and have a big hearty laugh at your expense. Now, if you want to learn more about toxic women, you can pick up my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And you can pick up my other men's issues books like Stop Simping to learn how to not be a simp or submissive male. Or you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com to learn more about men in crisis. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.